from our friends at Restring. So there's a chance to get some free water bottles, free duffel bag even, and some of their new stencils. And finally, we've got some news from Restring too about a third new string. So we're going to be talking about that, going through some of the new characteristics of this string. We can't give the name away and some other core details, but we can give you some of its playing characteristics and core information so you are fully prepared for when it launches. How are we doing on getting the comments up on the screen, tech team?
It's mixed.
Mixed. We're still in a mixed phase. So there you go. But start your comments coming in. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you have seen the new head radical, which I'll be displaying very soon. In fact, so soon. I have it here. Probably the world's brightest tennis racket. I'm intrigued as to people's thoughts on the colour. Let me know if you like it, hate it. I think it's a common theme now for brands to want rackets to stand out to such an extent where on TV, especially if you're watching, and head are obviously very big on using bright rackets and investing in pro players. There's a big head strategy. Obviously look at the Aussie Open finals, Zverev, Sinner, both using head rackets. And by having them in very distinctive colours, the yellow extreme, obviously this orange radical, they stand out. People see them on TV, come into store or see them online, and there's that instant recognition. So I think that's what head are going for here in terms of a marketing standpoint. You can't miss it. If you see it on the street, it's very obvious someone's got a radical. So yeah, and you can definitely tell. And maybe you'll distract your opponents, get a free few points. Who knows? But we strung it with Hawk Touch, which again was the string of choice for Zverev and Sinner in the Aussie Open final, which is actually quite a big coup, we could say, from head. And so that's what we put into this, a kind of control string in the control frame. We obviously had the MP and the Pro, and without, people always say, oh, you're too good. The MP, I only used the MP, Ben and Joe tested the Pro, was brilliant. Brilliant. Slightly underpowered for me, because I tend to like more power frames, but as a sort of step down from a pure control, from a Perceptor, a Prestige or a Pro Staff, into that sort of strike blade realm, it was superb. There was a phase where you just felt like you couldn't miss. It had maneuverability. Even though it's not stiff, it kind of plays stiff sometimes. Are we almost there, boys, do you think? There's a lot of head shaking going on at the moment. Have we got anywhere?
Wi-Fi's having a moment.
Oh, are we still on then?
Yeah, it's just choppy.
Excellent. Choppy Wi-Fi here in Enfield today. How are we doing on creating those offers, Mr. Sean? 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we're going to have some great Restring offers for you. And here's the Pro. MP and the Pro. Ben and Joe were raving out the Pro. Slightly heavier at 315, but they both said it was superb. I really like the MP, so I'm not that shocked at all. The Radical, obviously traditionally a very popular racket. You see it around a lot. Not head stop spelling, speed sort of beats it. But I think people are going to play test this Radical and really like it. It may put something like the speed through its paces. Same for the strike. It's going to be some interesting verses. If anyone has any recommendations what they'd like to see the new Radicals against, if they're using a racket thinking, oh, that Radical sounds like, well, could be nice for me, then let us know, because we are creating our list of videos to do and which ones to compare them to. So the Radical MP will definitely do up against the Blade 1619, similar spec. Definitely do up against the Strike 1619. And then maybe we might put up against maybe one of the Percepts, because that's kind of a more extreme version of, or not extreme version, it's more of a proper control frame. Oh, I have some comments. Yes, Damden, you were the first on. You were on before we even went live. I don't quite know how you did that, because I don't know who you are. What do we think of this Radical? People saying the Radical paint job, the old one is legendary. You've been tangoed, very good. I enjoyed that. Radical MP versus Gravity 98. Yeah, the Gravity Tour is going to be interesting, because obviously it sits at that 305 gram mark between the MP and the Pro and the new Rad. So that will certainly be a combo in between. Yeah, against the Prestige, I don't think it really is supposed to go up against the Prestige. The Pro maybe, but yeah, I actually think the Gravity is sort of more the. It's strange how the Gravity is more of that like modern control, Prestige is sort of classic control, and then the Radicals are sort of more all-round court. It's definitely someone who has an all-court game. Power of the new MP to the old one, I would say power levels between the two MPs probably not that dissimilar. In terms of new additions to the MP, we're talking about Auxetic 2.0 and where that is. So the Auxetic is now in the handle, which has changed the feel quite a lot. And actually, strangely, the manoeuvrability. It feels a lot like more of a whippier racket than the one before. Did you measure the swing weight of specimen rackets? We did, but I can't remember what they are. The swing weight machine is just over there, over my shoulder. Is it on the tag? Oh.
It should be right there, right?
We have the swing weight machine. I'm going to go and get the spec for you. I have them right here. I can't remember which one is which. Oh wait, this is the strung one, isn't it? So strung, the strung weight was 328. That's obviously on the MP. The balance was 32.6, and the swing weight was 335. And the Pro was 341, a balance point of 31.5, a swing weight of 318. We're about to cut the strings out, restring them with 0, so we can do some comparisons against other rackets we've got 0 in. When we cut them out, we shall do the specs again to do it. Still on dial-up and Enfield. It feels like it. And we actually paid to have super fast broadband wired directly in. So yeah, there might be some angry phone calls going to our fibre optic provider. What racket is your main right now? Personally, I do like the new Pure Drive. I was writing this in a comment to somebody the other day. Pure Drive with either restring and sync blended, sync in the mains, or I was actually at a Babolat Day recently and they had one with RPM power in the mains and Exalt in the crosses, and that was a really nice. 328 is pretty heavy and more compared to the others you would buy. I mean, that's the strung weight. So we'll see what they actually were unstrung when we put them out. Radical compared to the speed and gravity subtle differences. Yeah, I think that's fair, Richard, that the differences between the head range as a whole is probably on the subtle side. We did think of doing a video once if the brands would support where we could spray all the rackets black, especially the heads, say all the MPs, have no idea what they are, play test them and really try, like, can you A, tell which one's which I think you probably could, but then B, you might end up preferring one more than maybe you do normally, especially if the orange puts you out. Ben and Joe's intro into the Radical review about the colour is somewhat entertaining, so but I'll let you be the judge of that. What else we've got? Ever played with Selinko barbed wire? I haven't. We have some Selinko samples coming soon, and some other samples from other brands as well that have been trying to get us to review their product. So we shall let you know how those go. All right, time for some offers, some deals for you all, those of you that are in the UK. So Restring, their new stencil, and they've designed like a proper product here. It's not like those rubbish plasticky stencils you get from all the other brands. This is a proper piece of kit. You get 2 of them. I don't know why you get 2 of them. I did ask, because I've never seen anyone need 2 before, but you get 2. So if you've got 2 rackets and you want to use black ink on one and white ink on the other, you can then use both. There you go. It's a nice little product. If anyone buys a set, or more than any sets, of Restring for the next hour, then you'll get a free stencil. We'll just chuck that in with your order. Hello Sean, what's your problem? No? There's no problem. He was waving at me as if what I was saying was incorrect, but it's not, because I came up with the offer. My next offer, if you buy 5 sets of Restring, you can get one of their brand new lovely little water bottles, completely free. And what I love about this water bottle, now I feel like shopping channel, but it's genuine, is the embossed logo on the lid.
That's a lovely touch.
Like, obviously loads of water bottles have like damn thing, but it's the actual little detail on the top, which I really like. So if you buy any 5 sets of Restring, in the next hour, we'll pop in one of these. Lovely.
Keeps your water cold.
Keeps your water cold. Well, yes, that is always helpful. And the big one. Where's my big one? I feel like there's too many offers, but there you go. If you buy a reel, or the next 2 people to buy reels in the next hour, we'll get a free duffel bag. Woo! It was good. I actually used this on the way back from the States recently. It's a lovely little bag. Loads of little compartments. You can wear it as a backpack as well. You can put all your Restring in it. But yeah, nice duffel.
Show us inside, Josh.
No, I'm not going to show you inside, Joe, because it's full of random plastic to make it look good. So here it is, the Restring duffel. So any Restring reel order and you'll get it. Do you ship to Europe? We do ship to Europe for strings only. So when you go on the string page, you can select international shipping and do that, no problem. So there you have it. I've covered off the new Radical. Those just joining us, here is new Radical. It's very good. Review coming soon. That was the very brief synopsis. If you're in the UK and want to buy some Restring, there's some deals today. But now the kind of exciting news from Restring. Their third string. Obviously we have Zero and we have Sync, and we have a third string coming at the end of March. Did you say when the Radical launches? I didn't say when the Radical launches. The Radical launches, Sean is putting up 6 fingers, so I'm assuming it's either the 6th of March or in 6 days.
It's
The 6th of March. There you go, that is when the Radical will be available. So a couple of weeks. Exciting. So the third string. Now I'm going to be really careful what I say here, because there are 2 core things. One is, which is the name, that Restring shall be launching on their own channel. So make sure if you're not following Restring on Instagram, make sure you are so you see it. And this third string there, what I can tell you, or what I'm going to tell you, is it is a hexagonal string, which means, Joe, 6-sided, which is the same as Zero. So you might be thinking, that's interesting, they've made another thing like Zero. But the construction of the string is completely different, and it doesn't have the same slickness. So where Zero slickness gives you that power, the construction gives you the power, and the slickness gives you the spin, this third string, I don't know what we should call it, I'm going to keep calling it a third string, what should we call it? Restring X.
Restring PH?
Not quite. That is, supposed to sit in between Zero and Sync. You've got Sync as a control string, but with spin. Zero is a power string with spin. This third string is a balanced string in terms of its profile. It's supposed to be more of a performance player string. Doesn't have the same coating, so it doesn't have that slickness. I think from the description we're looking at something like a Solinco Confidential. We're looking at that sort of string in terms of a comparison. We're getting our samples in the next couple of days, so we shall be trying it, of course, to see what we think, but supposed to be a more balanced, a consistent playable string that what you put into it, you get out of it. That's what the idea is. We shall obviously put our own thoughts to it when we use it, what we think.
On the tour level.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, it's designed more for tour players, performance players who are looking for a string that just gives a consistency, good tension maintenance, and one that they can rely on to play a balanced game. So I think, so interesting talking about, say like, it'd probably be very nice in something like a Radical, which obviously we've already talked about. By putting it in to a control frame, you're then getting that consistent playable string in the consistent playable frame. So there you go. Restring's third string, that's the news. But if you want the old string, Zero and Sync, don't forget those offers. Any set you get some free stencils, 5 sets, free water bottle, and a real free bag. I mean, and the bag's like 40 quid, so whew, great deal. Any other comments? Check my message. I heard people call the new Pure Drive too stiff and uncontrollable. Well, I completely disagree. It is still very stiff, of course, it's a Pure Drive, but it's been softened significantly. I would be genuinely very surprised if people who use the old one don't prefer the new one. Equally, if anyone who doesn't use it and gets the chance to try both, I'd be stunned if people prefer the old one, genuinely. In terms of a link to the E-Zone, oh, here it is. Thanks, assistant. The new Pure Drive, lovely. In terms of comparing to the E-Zone, In the 100s, the E-Zone to me is more powerful. Even though it's not as stiff, the feeling of it just gives you so much. So if you're looking for a real easy time, maybe not so easy you need to be on the Clash, but an easier time, then the E-Zone 100 is the option. It is real effortless power. When you start to the 98s, then the E-Zone 98 probably starts to become more superior than the Pure Drive 98. I wonder what the colour will be. What is that of the new string, the Restring string? You're putting a bit of a delay, aren't you? That is a sort of Tiffany teal. Tiffany probably copyrighted their own colour, didn't they? Or trademarked
Tiffany
it.
blue, yeah.
But it is teal, nice and light, very nice. Any other comments? Technology in red, of course, haven't it today? Richard, no, there aren't. Why are you putting a beam in my face?
That colour.
Oh right, yes, the new Restring colour is it's going to look great in a boom. I imagine they've done some promo pictures already with it, but we shall put it in to see, because we actually wanted to do a video called Sexy Setups, where we try and put our favourite coloured strings in our favourite coloured rackets or combos with grips and everything to try and make the best looking racket combo. If anyone's got any ideas or think their racket setup is the sexiest, then let us know and we can try. Ben obviously thought it'd be like Black Speed Legend with black string and a black grip because he's warring. I'm more of like a Rafa Aero with the print synthetic gut rainbow string, but that's just me. Pure Drive Hearts, I know, right? What string feels most similar to Hawk Touch? What, out of all the strings in the world, is there a particular brand? Head need to bag themselves some bagworms. They do. Everyone needs bagworms. Well, when kind of Yonex first said this to us about the bagworms creating the middle-on that's in the E-Zone, obviously we thought, oh, it's pretty crazy. And then we actually spoke to a couple of people who were Japanese, and they were like, oh, there is like millions of bagworms all over. It's a very ubiquitous creature and a very ubiquitous material that's found in loads of other things. So to the rest of the world, it's like, oh, that's very high end. But apparently it's not. It's relatively standard. But still, who doesn't want to play tennis with worms? There you go. I want some setups. Give me some setups, people. What strings are we going? What rackets? And not for playability, for looks. That's what I'm into. What have the sales been like for the Gravity 98? Yeah, pretty strong. It's been the most popular one of the range, for sure. I think it makes sense in that kind of modern control frame to have a 98. I think that makes sense. Yonex, the owners of the largest bagworm farm in Japan. Well, yeah, I imagine they are. Boom and Restring X for me. The new, you see, very good. Remembering that I called it Restring X and the colour and the boom. Yes, 100%. Pure Drive with RPM Blast Orange and white overgrip. Is that the new Pure Drive you've got orange in? Where is that Pure Drive gone? Let me find an orange string. Yes. I got some Toro right here. Not the exact string you said, but let's have a look together. Pure Drive, orange. I mean, it's out there. Nice black stencil. Black grip, did you say? Yeah. It's white grip. Yeah. I'm with you, I think that's pretty cool. To be fair, the Toryline strings tend to look good in most frames. They pop very nicely. Did you actually go and get the orange head string? I've got a good little runner with me today. Thanks, Joe. Oh, I've done that wrong, you can sort that. Are Wilson losing market share since Federer gone? I wouldn't want to speak on Wilson's global market share, I probably don't have the information, but at a local level for us, I would say probably slightly. Obviously, the Clash has been the release this year for Wilson, which isn't obviously their biggest franchise in the range. It is very good, the Clash, and I'm standing in the way of it. It is very good, the Clash, and for what it does. I think the L and the UL in particularly are great for that profile of player, beginner players who just want an easy time when they're playing comfortable social doubles. It's a very great option. We are expecting another release from Wilson this year, Ultra, and then obviously next year will be a big year for them because there'll be a blade, I'm sure, probably a pro staff, and maybe even a shift as well. So I would say that often the market share comes from the launches in that year. So obviously this year, Babolat, their biggest pillar, the Pure Drive, will be great. Similar with Yonex with the E-Zone. So that's why those two sort of grow a bit in those launch years of those two main rackets, and they're probably suffering a little bit. VCore 95, I'm waiting for a bagworm edition. Yeah. But VCore 95 in sand beige or scarlet red. I personally think the sand beiges look way better. But our sales have actually been the other way around. More people are still sticking with red than sand beige. So what do I know? Polytour Pro, yes, that is a string. What racket? What colour? Come on, give me the setup. Pure Drive white over grips, yeah. Polytour Pro. Is Polytour at £51 good for Pure Drive? That's why he says Polytour Pro. Sorry, 60 hertz demon. I see your messages are combined. Polytour Pro in a Pure Drive would be very nice if you want to temper it down a bit. Polytour Pro, more of a control string, slightly lower powered. Pure Drive power. So if you want to just be able to control that Pure Drive a little bit more, then a string like Polytour Pro is going to work really well. If you obviously want to boost it up more, then maybe you want something slightly different. So I actually loved Polytour Strike, which is a little bit crisper in the Pure Drive. So maybe try that as well. I play with O-Toro and Toro Toro mixed. So O-Toro is green, isn't it? So green, Toro Toro orange at 50 in the VCore 95. Woo, nice. VCore 98 with Solinco Confidential and a leather grip. I love it when people say they've got a leather grip.
How do you hold on to it?
What do you mean, how do you hold on to it?
It's so slippy of a leather grip.
Well, maybe they don't sweat through their hands like us. Yeah, leather grip. I'm surprised when people don't use them. Obviously a nice way to increase the static weight of your racket without affecting the swing weight. Makes it a little bit solid, really nice for returning. Joe does it, Ben does it. Easier than putting putty in the handle and really customising it. You just put a leather grip on, add, it's quite a lot, 10 grams or so, 5-10 grams, then put an overgrip over that, and you actually change the racket quite a lot. So I'm surprised it's not so common in club level tennis. 100D, I'm assuming that's Percept, with Super Toro and Caviar, blue yellow. What, blue yellow in green? No. I completely disagree, Rakesh, I'm afraid. I don't know if I can say that about the Percept. No, I don't think I can. Yes. Let's move on from Percepts. I have a leather grip and an overgrip. Well, that's the way to do it so you don't let go. What's the best string for backhand slice? It's not really how it works, I'm afraid. Strings obviously can help create spin, and they do that in different ways. So they do that with the slickness and how they slide over each other. They do that in the texture, so in like a rough, and they do that with the shape. And depending on how you as a player create spin, you're going to enjoy that spin creation in a different way. So that's why some people like a textured string, some people like a shaped string, and some people like a slick string, all to create spin. So there isn't necessarily a way that's better than the other. It's a combination of all of those that work together. It's not, have you tried the Diadem Elevante 98? I have not. People are really into Diadem. If I'm honest, I've never played with a Diadem ever. It's not really a big brand here in the UK. By big brand, I would be as bold to say that I don't know if you could get one in the UK.
I've seen someone play with them.
Oh, we've seen people put. So there you go. You can get them in the UK, but it's certainly not very common. What tension do you use with Poly Strike? 50. When I did that in the Pure Drive, £50. What tension? Yeah. Have you tried? What's the best strings backhand slice? People are really jumping on my Percept comment. Whoops. I didn't say anything. Stop talking about it. Thoughts on the vocal string? Again, vocal string we haven't used loads of, but we've got some Cyclone and some other new ones I think they've got in the works coming soon. So along with have any of our grapple snake reviews gone live yet?
Not yet.
So grapple snake reviews, me and Ben had a fun time making them and trying to. We find with string reviews to try and make them somewhat more entertaining and engaging. We like to have some fun with the names and the intros. So there are some, we think, we found them funny. So hopefully you guys do too. Of the intros of those and the thumbnails. Joe loves making a thumbnail for string. So you're going to see those in the next month. Bear with the first 30 seconds, just enjoy it for what it is, and then the actual serious review comes afterwards. As I'm sure you all know, that's kind of how we do it. For those joining us, 3 things we're already talking about today. New Radical, play tested it yesterday. I used the MP, really liked it. Ben and Joe used the 98, really liked it. Very manoeuvrable. Had that feeling of not being able to miss, which is kind of ideal in this sort of control frame. A little bit underpowered for me. I had to really go for it, but when I did, it still controlled it, so that was really pleasant. And equally, on the and then the other thing we're talking about is Restring's new 3rd string, and to kind of start building some excitement for that, the current string 0 in sync. We have some giveaways. If you buy a set, you get some Restring stencils thrown in. If you buy 5 sets, you get a Restring water bottle, complete with embossed logo on the lid, as we covered earlier. And if you buy a reel, you get, whoa, almost smashed the camera. You get a £40 bag, lovely duffel. It's actually really nice. I've got one and use it. Pardon?
£70.
£70 bag. So you buy a £150 reel of string and you get a £70 bag. Wowza. Maybe we shouldn't do that deal. So there you go. So those were the 2 things. The new 3rd string coming, which is not slick. It sits in between 0 in sync, a player string, versatility. I think I can to it slightly more expensive. That launched at the end of March. So we've got the new Radical 6th of March, new Restring string, 3rd string X as we were calling it earlier, which is teal, coming at the end of March as well. So exciting times. Shipped to Portugal. We ship string to Portugal. But we don't ship big rackets, expensive things, for many reasons, but it's not worth it. Is the Gravity Pro 2025 since 2023? I don't know. I haven't compared the Gravity Pro new versus old. I didn't actually even play test the new Gravity Pro. Ben and Joe did, and that video is live, but from what I remember from watching their video and speaking to them, they really, really liked it. Joe's nodding.
Yeah, it's Auxetic 2.0 versus Auxetic 1.
Yeah, I think, like we were talking about with the new Radical, and someone asked what is new, is there new tech? It is Auxetic 2.0. And in the Radical, obviously it's the placement of that coming through to the handle, change the feel, make it a bit crisper. In the Gravity Pro, it's a similar thing. The improvement of the Auxetic 2.0 and where it is in the frame is the change. It's obviously a much better paint job as well, so which is important. As we talked about sexy setups, Gravity Pro, it's got to be up there. Ship to Thailand? No, I'm afraid. It's quite far. If you ever want to visit from Thailand and come see us, you can get whatever you like. What socks do you recommend? You have no idea how many years I've been waiting for someone to ask about socks. I love socks. And there is only one sock in the world that is worth wearing to play tennis. Thorlo. There's many types. So Thorlo specific, actually made in the US of A. Donald will like that. They have many different specialist socks, Thorlo, for across all sports. But in tennis, there are 2 main ones that we have. We have light padded and heavy padded. And they're briefly advertised as for feet that don't hurt and feet that hurt. I wear a combination of both based on time of year. So in the winter, I wear the thicker ones because they're slightly warmer. And in the summer, I wear these, the light padded. If you've never tried a pair of specific tennis socks, anywhere in the world, find some Thorlos, buy a pair. I can almost guarantee you'll then buy 5. Everyone who's ever bought a pair from us has been in within the next week or 2 and been like, yeah, I need some more. Definitely worth trying.
Best value as well.
Joe's obviously hyping Yonex socks about value, but for quality, which is what we care about, and performance, Thorlo all the way. Other sock brands also available. Disagree. Your next tennis socks are the best. There you go, Joe. You've got someone agreeing with you. What socks do you recommend? Did you get a nice tan after playing with the Radical? Yeah, it's pretty rad, isn't it? Pretty bright there. Is there a live schedule? Oh, for us going live. Are you enjoying this, Paolo? Thanks for that. In terms of going live, this is obviously our second time, so we're still in the process of figuring everything out. I see, I was supposed to have your comments. I've got a massive screen behind you where I can just nicely read and stay engaged, but that failed, which is why I'm having to look to the side. So there's a little few technical things to get right. We are going live again tomorrow. I know, exciting. Same time tomorrow. Well, we were late today. We're aiming for about 9:15 in the UK tomorrow morning. That'll be our third and final test. We shall then have a schedule. And something that we want to try and do is have kind of two different types of live. So we'll have one that's very much more of like a Q&A, where we'll talk about some things, but really just answering questions and going through. And then another one in the week that hopefully is more resembles some... we want to bring you guys into store to get the advice you'd get as if you actually came to see us. So especially if you're in the UK but live further away, or anywhere in the world, and you go, oh, I'd love to be able to come in and look around and look that we can kind of offer that as a chance for you to ask specific questions about your game and what you want to get and get some advice. And in those videos we'll have some deals and offers and discounts, so it's like you came into store and kind of get to speak to us. So those are the two sort of ideas. How are we doing on time? 1 minute? Oh, wowza. Yes, we have less than 1 minute. So yeah, that's the plan for lives. We'll see you again tomorrow. I do enjoy it. Lol. Thanks, Paolo. Lol to you too. Have a great day, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.